What is the scariest slash creepiest thing you have seen slash heard? I'd been living alone for less than a week. I got some Chinese takeout and was eating in front of the TV. I finished my meal and cracked open the fortune cookie. It read, "You will have a visitor tonight. Lock your door." There were no visitors that night, but the memory still haunts me. I watched in horror as this drunk seeming guy fell. Maybe it was on purpose, but I don't know, onto a commuter rail track just as the train was coming. The sound slash sight of him getting run over, crunching, splattering, awful, has stayed with me for life as the scariest, brain scarring thing ever. There is a FAQ thread somewhere that described a guy taking a scenic route in the middle of the night to get to a certain town. He was driving up a hill and came upon a car accident with two cars on the side of the road and a person lying down on the ground. For some reason he caught a bad vibe from it and slowly drove past the scene. He stopped about 100 feet past it, looked behind him, and the person on the ground was standing up and staring at him, with about 20 other people coming out of the woods. Nope. After living in my house alone for 8 years, I came to the realization that I had closed a lot more doors than I had opened. I was once in a hot tub with some friends late at night, and we were all telling some stories. One of the guys told us this one. A story of a girl he knows, not sure if it's true, but multiple people in the hot tub who knew her verified it was true. So one day, this girl was called over to babysit. She did it a lot for these people, so it was routine for her. Anyways, she was told to put the kids to bed at 9, and she did. After she put them to bed, she started watching TV and doing homework, waiting for the parents to come home. But then, she started hearing some noises coming out of the basement, like pans falling and stuff. She just ignored it and thought it was the washing machine or something. Anyways, a little later, she starts hearing the noises again. She decides to call the police and tell them she was hearing noises coming out of the basement at the house she's babysitting at. The lady at the station told her there's a patroller in her area and that he'll be at the house in about 20 minutes. Anyways, in about 5 minutes, she hears a knock on the door. She answers, and it's a full SWAT team. She asked, "I thought they were just sending a patroller," and one of the guys told her, "After you hung up the phone, we heard a second phone on the line hang up. Ended up there was a man in the basement, listening to the conversation. The lady in the station waited and heard him hang up, then immediately sent the SWAT team to help. They went downstairs and caught him. He was wanted for multiple cases of rape." I used to work in a trailer park for my parents. Quite often, people would start using methamphetamine, begin to fall behind on rent and get evicted. Whenever we evicted someone, their trailer was usually too torn to shit to actually do anything useful with it. Essentially, to prevent having a pile of shit trailer in the middle of the park, we'd buy it from them and just tear it down. Anyway, the scary slash creepy part. Many of these occupants had children. More than half of all of the children's rooms I found had locks on the doors. From the outside, inside the children's rooms, it was always quite evident that the kids would sometimes be locked inside for days at a time, due to the bathroom corners that would sometimes appear. The doors on the insides of the rooms typically had scratch marks along the edge of the door and the door frame. Getting rid of all of the stuff inside before beginning demolition always frightened me. I was always afraid that I'd end up finding a dead child somewhere among the filth. It never happened, but the odds of it potentially happening were, in my opinion, quite high. I was babysitting my nieces one Friday night while my brother-in-law took his wife to dinner. She has a strict bedtime of 8 p.m. So after successfully getting her to sleep, no small task, I decided I would watch the Skyfall movie that people wouldn't shut up about. About halfway into the movie, I'm absolutely chilled to the bone when Sophie, who sneaked out of bed and behind the couch, says directly into my ear, mere inches away, "You know James Bond murdered Jesus, right?" I haven't offered to watch her again. I saw this little bird walking on the street when suddenly a seagull grabbed it in its mouth. Seagull started to smash this helpless bird against the ground few times. After a while it ate the bird, and I saw a bump on Seagull's neck like the bird was stuck in its throat. Then it flew off. I was just standing there and said, "What the duck? Seagulls shouldn't do that. Duck seagulls." I was on vacation in Ithaca with my boyfriend at the time. We had literally, I'm talking 10 minutes, just gotten into town and stopped at a suspension bridge near Cornell's campus. I'm terrified of heights, and so my boyfriend was coaxing me step by step over the bridge. It was gorgeous, and we stopped at the middle to take a picture. On the side we had come from there was a parking lot with steps leading to the bottom of the gorge, but on the far side there were hiking paths with no barrier. A woman walked past us and offered to take a picture for us. We declined and she smiled and walked quickly to the far side of the bridge where she smoothly jumped off into the gorge. There was not a second of hesitation. It was almost like she expected the path to keep going. The sound of a person hitting the ground from a jump like that sticks with you. My dad died of cancer the day I turned 16, after about 2 weeks in a coma. It was really fast. Less than 2 months between diagnosis and death. He died in the house. We had a hospice attendant and my mom was very good about seeing to him in those final days. Anyway, a lot of weird shit happened after he passed. But the one that still freaks me out when I think about it happened about 12 hours before he took to bed for the last time. He was in our living room napping on the couch while my mom was in the kitchen cooking. No one else was home. Suddenly, he jerked awake and was shouting for my mom in a very loud, agitated voice. Clearly angry with her. "Beverly, don't do that. Don't ever do that again." She ran into the room, alarmed, and asked what he was talking about. And he said, "Don't do that. Don't walk past me like that in that long black wig." Sometimes I think he saw death. Thank you for watching. Like, share and check out other videos.